This is a story of how we spent 2023 road tripping the USA in our 30-year-old campervan called Roger. We zigzagged from north to south, then back again, crisscrossing halfway and venturing southward once more. We saw some amazing scenery, had unexpected wildlife encounters. We just saw a family of armadillos, ate delicious food, and cycled in New York City. But not every mile was smooth. We broke down in a small Florida town, made not one but 2 visits to urgent care, and had to go home sooner than planned. It all started when we bought a campervan in the USA from over 13,000 kilometres away in the far north of New Zealand. 2 months later, we flew to Grand Rapids in Michigan to view our campervan for the first time.
Well, thank you very much.
This is so exciting and a little bit scary. A stop at Walmart had us all loaded up and ready to hit the road, heading towards Texas for a house sit. Little did we know we'd be heading straight into a tornado, and our wipers had stopped working.
The weather service, tornado warning in this area until 3 p.m.
The alert told us to seek shelter immediately, but we're in the middle of nowhere, so we kept on driving. 15 minutes later, we found a visitor centre at the Red River Gorge. We sheltered in the safety of their glass-fronted building while we watched the storm roll over. We then spent 3 days hiking and exploring the Red River Gorge. We saw a snake. Mike got his tape measure out to make sure our van would fit through the tunnel.
It's 9 foot.
9 foot, so it's 12
12
foot.
foot, so we got 3 foot spare.
And we continued south, stopping at the stunning Providence Canyon in Georgia.
But the views from the top there were absolutely incredible. We're just heading back to the car now, and we've got to go find somewhere to camp for the night. We're just at Florence Marina State Park, a camping spot here. $32 for the night for full hookup.
But we were in for a surprise when we went out for a walk that evening.
What's that sign? Be aware.
Of alligators. Are we not even in Florida yet, Mike? There's not alligators here, surely.
I don't know. Just be aware.
And then we broke down in a small Florida town.
The car won't start. It's just turning over but not starting. Mike thinks it's either fuel or electric.
A mobile mechanic got us going by fiddling with a few wires, but never found out the source of the problem. The next day, it happened again. Thankfully, Mike performed his magic and was able to get it going again. Then we had to fast track it to Texas for our house sit.
Since we've been in our house sit in Texas, we've done some work on the van.
We put solar panels on, a lagoon table mount.
If you probably noticed in the other videos, the toilet was just sitting there, and now we've got that. And if you want to use the toilet,
You can just hook it in, up, out the way.
If you'd like to watch all the van updates we did, I'll leave a link in the description below. After our house sit in Texas, we had another house sit on the other side of the country in Connecticut. But we'd be doing some sightseeing on the way there. We drove the entire length of the Blue Ridge Parkway, which was amazing. The scenery was stunning and there were plenty of places to explore. We even saw a bear. If you'd like to see our Blue Ridge Parkway road trip, I'll put a link in the description. After the Blue Ridge Parkway, we continued heading north. Ricketts Glen was one of the highlights on the way up. This is an incredible hiking experience with waterfalls at every turn.
it's got to be the prettiest waterfall walk I've ever done.
We then made our way to Niagara Falls and were excited that we could walk to Canada from there.
I'm walking there. I'm walking to Canada. There's the falls. Niagara Falls, in case I didn't mention that.
While we're in the Finger Lakes in New York State, Mike got bitten by a tick on his ankle in a Lyme disease area. We then headed to New York City, staying at the Jersey RV Park, just a 5-minute ferry ride from Manhattan. We took our bikes into New York City on the ferry and cycled along the Hudson Greenway, through Central Park, and up to Times Square.
We're just in Times Square, New York. Rode our bikes in. How mad is that?
We headed to Maine for lobster. The state of Maine is beautiful. We spent a few days exploring before it was time to head to our house sit in Connecticut. While in Connecticut, we did some more upgrades to our van.
I made a table. There's a table, top, there's a support. The simple goes in there like that. It goes in there, like that.
After our house sit, we continued west, stopping at Cuyahoga National Park, Indiana Dunes National Park, and my personal favourite, the Badlands National Park. We had our first taste of boondocking in an amazing location overlooking the Badlands.
You don't get much better than this. Look at these views.
We then headed on to Custer State Park, where we got caught up in a bison jam.
Because the bison are just stopped in the middle of the road and they're not letting us go. They're holding us hostage.
Travelled the Needles Highway, which was absolutely stunning.
Look.
And a few little tight squeezes through tunnels, which made it a bit more interesting. We travelled to Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
So we've been seeing butts all over the place. That's what the Badlands are. They're not mountains, they're butts.
As we headed for Glacier National Park, I had a call from home saying my father was ill. So we fast-tracked it through Yellowstone National Park, left Roger in a storage unit in Vegas, and made it home to see my dad for the last time. Coming up in our 2024 episodes, we'll pick Roger up from storage, hope he starts, and make our way to Alaska.
So come along, it'll be fun.
We now have a Patreon page with various levels of support, from free to different paid tiers. There'll be bonus content such as blogs, travel tips, exclusive videos, and more depending on which tier you choose. So feel free to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description.